Good weekend, everyone. I hope you're all having an amazing week so far going into the weekend. We had our new mascot, rickrolling us into April 1st. All kinds of new challenges, raids, tons of stuff. So we got a lot to cover here. Let's dig in. Welcome to This Week in Review in Upland, where we take a bit of time to discuss what's going on in the Upland metaverse, in more of an analytical perspective, so to speak. If this is your first time on the channel, welcome, my friend. I hope to earn your like and subscription today. How healthy is the UPX economy? How is each market sector performing? What's the best deal and what's the worst? All of the important information that a lot of folks kind of overlook, and that can be the difference between success and failure. If you'd like to join all of us in the Upland metaverse buying, collecting, and flipping virtual real estate NFTs, head over to discover.upland.me/SSFTG and click the promo link in the description. I'll have it down there as well. It gets you into Upland with 6,000 starting UPX, and if you decide to invest some cash, you also get a massive 50% bonus to your first purchase with a cap of 50,000 UPX. So make sure to check out all of those details, and if you need more details, you can also head over to ssftg.com/upland for more info. So with all the fun stuff out of the way, let's take a look at the news events for this week. First up, on March 25, we had the Metaventure Raid, and that was essentially just a way for, there's been a lot of really cool ways for people to earn UPX lately, but this was a way where the release of the NFLPA shops allowed a lot of people to venture over to those shops and earn their chance to win 10,000 UPX. This is a really cool thing, so definitely always a good idea to keep an eye on not only the Discord server for Upland, but also just the news page to see what's going on, because a lot of these raids and everything, there's quite a few of them going on over the past few weeks. And they're really good ways, even if you don't win, to kind of navigate around and see what all these shops are about, all of the new updates are about, and even enter into a chance to possibly win a couple thousand UPX. The next event is the Master Builders Phase 4. That was on March 25 as well, and this was for all of those 3D graphic designers and all of that want to build their own models. You're able to submit your models in for Manhattan, Bronx, Brooklyn, and Staten Island. And as far as the last submissions and all of that information is down there. But so far, if you haven't seen some of these buildings that have been getting submitted, some of these things are absolutely incredible. I think it's one of the, we'll jump ahead a little bit in the news, but the Master Builders Phase 3 for voting, some of these buildings, I mean, look at these. These are absolutely incredible. You've got the Nashville buildings, which this is exactly what I think of when I think of Nashville. It's perfect. Same goes with New Orleans, Kansas City. I mean, in Rutherford, like perfect. Oh man, some of these are just so cool looking, and the design on them is awesome. Now, I know we jumped ahead, so let's jump backward a little bit here. Back on March 29, we had the Upland firedrill, which, again, was another really cool way to possibly earn some UPX, mint some new things, and possibly even earn up to 1 spark and 50,000 UPX. I mean, this is a big one. Effectively, this was them working on improvements in the Upland technical infrastructure. Always cool to see those kinds of updates. Even though we might not necessarily know what was going on the surface of things, anytime we see technical infrastructure updates, that's an awesome thing. That means likely better stability for city releases, better stability in general, more upgrades. It's always a good thing. Now, this one is a little bit different. Okay, so we had the Upland Fire Drill, and it was split into two different kind of things. There was a send, and then there was a minting giveaway. So the Upland Fire Drill was broken down into Los Angeles in the Woodland Hills neighborhood specifically, Nashville and East Nashville, Kansas City and Raytown, and Detroit and Warrendale. And each of those neighborhoods were selected due to their available inventory and unminted properties, so that's good. They were thinking ahead. And the stress test schedule started at 8:45 Pacific Standard Time, of course. And a large number of sends are going to be dropped in the city. Now, again, this already happened, okay? So this is, again, a big reason why you want to keep an eye on the Discord server and stuff. But this gives you a full breakdown of everything that took place. At 8:45, they had a bunch of sends drop in the city. At 9 o'clock, the minting challenge opened up, where you go to those aforementioned areas and mint up to, I think the maximum was 3 entries. Yeah, 3 mints to get into that. And then the other part of the giveaway was the send giveaway. And the send giveaway, each send to the properties within the selected neighborhood earns 1 entry into the giveaway with a maximum of 5. So a couple different ways to get into that. And the rewards, the grand prize was 1 spark. That's pretty cool. Second was basically a spark. Third, half of the spark. Fourth, a little under half. And fifth, 0.2. So, I mean, really cool rewards. And as far as the UPX rewards, grand prize of 50,000 UPX, 40,000, 30, 20, and 10. Again, lately there's been a lot of ways that they've been doing of earning UPX. Of course, the new mascot rolling in, as we saw,
is the one and only.
Who didn't see that coming, right? I mean, the launch date of it, right, is definitely sus. Some of the terminology that we utilized, sus, things like that. I'm not a huge fan of giving things away. I like people to figure it out themselves. But the launch date and the sudden rebranding of everything seems very curious. I do still stand by a lot of the statements that we did in that video going over this as a way for them to measure the overall sentiment of what their underlying player base is looking for. I think it's a fantastic way for people, again, to not only win 5,000 UPIX, another way to win, but along with that, to kind of gauge what do the player base want to see, right? What updates are they looking for? What direction are they looking for? In this way to vote is an incredible way to gauge that. Even if it was a Rickroll, I think there was a lot of really useful information that Upland would have gained from this. Then over into the Upland market analytics. 30-day transactional volume last week, 3.472 billion. This week, 3.637 billion, and that's an increase of 4.752%. Nice little increase there. Obviously, we can see pretty flat line, pretty stable. The market's just kind of finding a little bit of a hover. Pretty big floor, all things considered, kind of hovering on that bottom portion there, but I mean, really, that's about it, right? I mean, we've got a little bit of a consolidation, and we're just kind of hovering. Not a bad thing, necessarily. It allows the secondary market to light up a little bit and get a bit more universal stability, if you will. But a lot of times, after this stability, something happens. We get a new announcement or something, and then the market kind of takes off. We haven't seen that yet. We'll have to wait and see. As far as unminted properties, last week we had 567,376. This week, we have 534,515, which is a decrease of almost 6%, 5.791%. That's starting to feel like it's picking up speed. You'd think it'd be decreasing because the leftover ones are more expensive. But I feel like the minting process is picking up some speed here. That might be a concern as far as how many available properties are left. They still have over 500,000, but that number is dropping pretty quick here. First up on the list by the zone-by-zone analysis is going to be Bakersfield. And as far as Bakersfield, the lowest price last week was $6.75. This week it's $6. That's down 11.11%. But if we look at the UPIX side of things, 9,994 up to 10,100. That's an increase of 1%. The lowest markup UPIX-wise is 128.43%. And if we're looking at the overall collections, there are some pretty big, well, actually there's only one really big mover, and that's the downtown collection taking a hit, down 22.82%. Nothing really on the upswing. I mean, up 2% in California Ave and 1% in the standard collection, but that's really about it. Bakersfield on a bit of a pullback. Bronx is next up, showing us the lowest UPIX floor, 11,699. Current floor, 14,500. Whoa. Now, look, side note, look at these numbers, man. Staten Island, the New York area has been lighting up like it's going out of style. We'll get to that as we go through each zone, but the previous UPIX floor, 11,699 to 14,500. Previous USD floor, 943 up to $13, 23.94% and 37.86% increase, respectively. Wow. Big step up on this side of things. Lowest markup UPIX-wise, 87.31%. Looking at the collections, we've got some huge gains. Sedgwick Ave going up 48.21%. We also have some medium ones comparatively, I guess, 23.39% in Belmont. The whole collection is up a ton. I mean, Bronx is doing incredibly well. Brooklyn is showing us a previous UPIX floor, a little bit of a decline here, 11,500 to 10,999. That's a decrease of 4.36%. USD floor 8 to 799. Basically unchanged. Technically down 0.12%. Lowest UPIX markup, 149.61%. Looking at the collections here again, on the lower side of things, we've got a lot of back and forth, a lot of trivial stuff, 2% whatever, but we do have a 15% decrease in the Fifth Ave collection, and we also have a 9% increase in the Bushwick collection, 14% increase in Fulton. So we do have some pretty good movement up and down here as well, and a halfway decent UPIX pullback, 5% marginal at best. Chicago is bringing up the floor, another one that is ripping here. I mean, look at this thing. Previous UPIX floor, 6,900 up to 8,489. 23% increase in the Chicago UPIX floor. 526 up to $6. That's a 14% gain on the USD floor. Lowest markup, 110%. We've got a very, very nice, I mean, look at the percentages here, are bonkers in Chicago. Chicago, obviously, last week we were talking about on how it was on a really, really big dip. Well, it's not anymore. I think that got picked up pretty aggressively. We've got 24% increases in South Shore. We've got 19% increases in West Town. We've got 16 and 12% decreases in Hayden State Park, but then jumping over 20% and 15% increases in Gold Coast and Southport. Huge movement back and forth here, and a lot of it is very, very bullish. Cleveland also not doing too shabby. Previous UPX floor 8,000, current floor 9,200. That's an increase of 15% flat. $6.50 was the previous USD floor, $6.99 the current. That's up 7.5%. The lowest UPX markup, 126%. If we look at the collection side of things, here again, 15% on the base collection, right? But 13% increase in Union Miles Park. We have a 10% increase in Old Brooklyn. We have a 13% decrease in the exclusive Cuyahoga Valley, but respectively, right next door, we've got 22% and 14% increases in Euclid and Professor Avenue, and 16% increases in Mayfield Road. So even though there are some declines here in the Cleveland side of things, very similarly to Chicago and Bronx and some of these others, it's doing pretty good. Fresno giving us a bit of stability here, at least on the floor prices. The collections are going a bit wild here, but as far as the previous UPX floor, 9,750 to 9,968, increase of 2.28%. 699 to 695, basically flat again, but down 0.57% technically. Lowest UPX markup, 606%. If you're looking at the collections, we've got a lot of back and forth, but one that's interesting to me, Woodward Park down 9.42%. A lot of these other standard collections have been doing incredibly well along with the floor. This one is a little bit of a flip-flop. Might see that one pick up next week. 14 and 16% gains in the limited north growth area in the Vanessas, and an 18% decrease in Blackstone Ave. 50% ripper in downtown murals on the rare collection side of things. A lot of back and forth here. Detroit also giving us a nice stable growth line, that good old parabolic growth. We always like seeing that. Looking at the previous UPX floor, 4,600 to 4,900, that's an increase of 6.52%, healthy week over week. $3.20 to 365, that's up 14%. Also pretty healthy there. Lowest markup UPX-wise, 93%. If we're looking at the collection side of things, good stable growth, 5%, 6%, 9%, all of those. Some standouts though, 22% decrease in Midtown. We have an 11% increase in Woodbridge, a 13% decrease in Corktown, 11% decrease in Grand River, Gratiot Ave down 9%, 14% increase in Brush Park. Lots of back and forth here all the way down, but for the most part, the only one that's really got any big movement here is the Midtown. Kansas City also giving us some relative stability here, 9,000 to 9,190, that's up 2.11%, and then 6 to 6 unchanged, finally actually unchanged, 0%. Lowest UPX markup, 82%. If we're looking at the collection side of things, some pretty good bouncing here, some nice ripping over in the limited and exclusive collection. Meadowbrook, Maine, and Troost Ave, 12, 11, and 21% increases there. Not really many big declines. The largest decliners in Plaza Westport and Grand Boulevard, and that's really about it. Kansas City doing pretty healthy. Los Angeles has some pretty interesting ones, some coming back on sale from last week. 6,400 to 7,420 is the floor, that's up 15.94%. Totally fine with that. $5 floor to $5 floor, unchanged at 0. Lowest UPX markup, 87%. On the collection side of things, the UPX floor is already up 15%. We already know that, but a 16% increase in Sherman Oaks, which is always nice to see. Some marginal 5-7% decreases, even 9% decreases in some of the standard collections. Even some 12% increases in things like Venice. 13% increases in limited collections like the Pacific Palisades and Cheviot Hills. And 15% increases in Ventura Boulevard. 25% increases in Windsor Square, 20% increase in Sunset Boulevard. And then we've got some decliners too. We've got some pretty big decliners if we go a little further. Hollywood Boulevard, Wilshire Boulevard, and Franklin Ave all down 12, 18, and 25%. And then the big one back on sale was 20 million, now 3.6 million. That's at 82% decrease, which is basically like it wasn't on sale and now it is on sale. Sounds of LA down 82% in that area. Manhattan coming in with some decent UPX pullback, 143,900 to 129.99, down 9.66%, but USD growth, 89 to 99, that's up 11.24%. Lowest UPX markup, 319%. Looking at the collections, relatively flat, but the ones that are moving. 20% decrease in Upper East Side. We have a 14% decrease in Little Italy, a 9% decrease in Soho, 17% increase in Bleecker, and a 36% decrease in Skyline Manhattan. We've got a lot of back and forth going on here with some pretty wild movement. The ones that are moving. The other ones that aren't are just flat. Not really a whole lot else going on there. Nashville also following the trend line to the upside, 9,600 to 9,977, increase of 3.93%. Previous USD floor 669 to 698, 4.33% increase there. 86% is the lowest UPIX markup. For collections, there's just not much going on in the lower end of things. I mean, we do have a 9% and 10% increase in Priest Lake and Madison, but that's really about it until we get to this lower side of things. The rare Broadway collection down 27.97%, and 36.20% down in Jackson Boulevard. However, 53.85% growth, nice little flip there, in the live music venues collection. Some pretty big ebb and flow in the upper portion of the Nashville side of things. New Orleans collections are going to need a fire extinguisher at this point. These things are on fire. Holy cow. Previous UPIX floor, $9,000 to $9,969, increase of 10%, $6 to $6 unchanged. Lowest UPIX markup, 98%, but if we look at the collections, hokey smokes, this thing is on fire. 30% increase in Lower Ninth Ward, 14% increase in Mid-City. French Quarter up 36%, 30% in Lakeshore Lake Vista. 15% increase in Central Business District, and just marginal 7 and 8% pullbacks in Hain and Decatur. Really, really healthy market. I mean, more than healthy. This thing is gorging down here in New Orleans. Wow. Oakland has a lot of ebb and flow in the collection side of things. In the floor, the previous UPIX floor, $11,500 to $12.99. Nice increase of 13.03%. Previous USD floor, $774 to $875. That's also an increase, 13.05%. Very nice gains there. 94% is the lowest UPIX one. Markup, rather. As far as the collections are concerned, not really a whole lot going on until we get to the Temsicle and Rockridge collections, up 22 and 25% respectively. And then again, we don't have anything going on until the exclusive Broadway collection, up 44%. Just to flip it, downtown, down 40% on that side of things, and 50% decrease in Oakland libraries. Big movement going on in the upper portions of collections. Otherwise, all gains on the lower end. Over in Rutherford, we have some pretty decent bouncing back up. Last week we were talking about how it was on a nice little kind of depression, if you will. It bounced right back up again. Previous UPIX floor, 49,600, right on up, 59,000, up 18.95%. Beautiful bounce there. 42.22 to 42.50, marginal increase on the USD floor, 0.66%. Lowest UPIX markup, 325.35. Collection side of things, the Park Ave collection up 22.16%. Nothing in Feronia Way, and Caramita Ave down 8.57%. So some pretty decent movement over in Rutherford, picking right back up again. San Francisco coming up and not stopping here. This thing hasn't stopped its growth pattern. Unbelievable. 36,900 to 37,777. I think that was the right amount of sevens. Increase of 2.38%. USD floor, $29.99 to $31.60. 5.37% growth there. Lowest markup on the UPIX floor, $169.68. Looking at the collections, holy moly. First off, 12.5% growth in Sunset. Mission District up 11%. 15% decline in Pacific Heights. Nice little pullback there. Flipping it over, 19% up in Russian Hill, and Haight-Ashbury up 16%. 61% in Seacliff. 20% in Haight. Lombard Street up 42%. Market Street up 77%. And, well, we might as well end it on a decline, I guess. 41% down in Financial District. We've got some serious gains on the collection floor here in the San Francisco area, picking it up big time. Santa Clara following right along with all of the others on the growth aspect, 25,000 to 26,968, up 7.87%. Previous USD floor, 1849 to 1966, increasing 6.33% there. 122.77% is the lowest UPIX markup. Very, very nice increasing on the floor. And if we look at the collections, all the money's flowing into the bigger side of things. Homestead and El Camino up 29 and 17%. Big rippers there. Outside of that, relatively stable. 7%, 1%, down 5%. Not really much else going on in the Santa Clara side of things, but some pretty big moves on the upper portion. Staten Island coming in, previous UPX floor $10,999 up to $10,950. That's a decline of 0.45%, basically flat. The USD floor is flat at $8. Lowest UPX markup 221.37%. A lot of back and forth in the collections, and it's some pretty decent movement. 16% increase in Great Kills, Tottenville up 10%. We have a 15% increase in Todd Hill, and a 16% decline in St. George, and an 18% decline in historic Richmond Town. So some pretty good ups and downs going on here in the Staten Island area. All right, and now we go into the new edition, which took a little bit longer to get this weekend review out, but we got everything all locked and loaded, and this is going to go over the spark valuation and building costs. Super excited to get this one in. Now, this is going to assume one spark, okay? So all the math is based off of one spark. How many days it takes to build everything, how much the annual yield will be, etc., etc., etc. Now, this is going to be off of a few different things. First off, each of the buildings are going to be marked up. So a small townhouse, the building value change is going to be based on the previous and UPX floors, right? This is going to give us an idea of how things are moving. 3.08%, 3.08%. I have it on there twice just so it's easier to read while I'm going through it. We also have the small townhouse flat roof. So again, just going through it, this is telling you everything that's going on. The UPX per hour value is what's going to be very interesting because some of these are going to be, for builders' sake, very interesting to want to try to push in and build, where others just might not be worth the time. As an example, a large luxury modern house is only valued at about 25 UPX an hour right now, compared to a small townhouse pitched roof, or a flat roof is even better, 36.84. So it's a really nice guide to tell you which direction you might want to consider going. Along with that, if we break this down a little bit further, based on the UPX per hour or USD per hour, which I also have marked on here, let me move it out of the way so you can see it, that will also give you per one spark the annual yield of how much that will make you, assuming that you were going to build that and then turn around and sell it at whatever the current floor is, and then build it again and sell it again. That's what the annual yield is built off of. The difference, if you look, well, there's a couple things in here. Let me break this one down a second. Effectively, the difference is going to be the difference between the USD and UPX floor and whether or not the value is there. So, to break this down, what I mean by this, looking at the third one down, if I were to build this in USD, it's only going to make me $209.60 annually. If that's all I was going to build, sell at the current floor. However, if I were to do that in UPX, I would make 51.97% more doing it in UPX. That's what the difference is referencing, just so we're on the same page. So going through all of the numbers that we have going on here, we'll start off with the structure type going across, and I'll leave it up here so you can kind of see it. But at the moment, the previous UPX floor and current UPX floor, small townhouse pitched roof is down 3.08%. We have the flat roof, which is down 1.24%. Small ranch house down 12.5%. We have the medium townhouse up 15%. And then we have a 6.25% decrease in the large luxury ranch house. Large modern is down 8%. On the USD side of things, the biggest decliner out of all of them, $21 for a small town pitched roof. That's down 19% from the previous $26 floor. So very, very interesting pricing going on there in the collection side. And then the last one, this little bit over here that might be hard to see, the lowest collection price. So the lowest buildings that are still in a collection, $29 and $45,000 on that side of things. Lowest markup on the UPX floor, 94%. Very interesting to keep an eye on these, and I'm very curious to see how all of those change as time goes. All right, so that's going to do it for this week in review on the Upland Metaverse. I hope you and yours are doing well this weekend and your stacks are as thick as ever. Super interesting to see all of the spark values and everything. I'm going to be adding that weekly, so hopefully as we go on it won't take as long, and we'll be able to kind of track what's going on with the spark valuations as well. Have an amazing rest of your weekend, and let's get ready for another fun week ahead. There's a lot of stuff going on, so let's strap in. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next.